Let's talk sales. This series is meant for the young professionals who are looking at life ahead in all the turmoil that we have economically, politically. Where are we going to? And for our guest today, we have a person who has been in FMCG, telecom, consumer durables, and electricals also, in all just one career. And that is what this whole thing is about, the career. How can the young person today decide on the right thing to do, which will meet the challenges ahead? And the person that we have today, thank you for being on the show. We have Vipul Sabharwal. Hi Vipul, say hello.
Good evening. It's a pleasure
Very good to see you again.
So many years.
I know, after many years, isn't it? Great,
pleasure
wonderful.
To be here.
Today I was having somebody speak about you, and he said, amazing man. He was in some office where there were 4 floors. Every morning you would walk right through all the 4 saying hello to the people that are there, meet them, talk to them, and this was a daily thing that you were doing. He talked about how practical you were, the leadership qualities. Specifically, he mentioned there was somebody who wanted to leave, and you found another position for that person so that his skills could be utilized. When I listened to all this, I said, gosh, when you were 25, Vipul, did you ever imagine that success would be like this? What was your imagination of what success could be when you were the young 25?
That's taking me back many, many years. I'm going to scratch my head to pull up my memory on that side of my life. And thanks for the compliment. What you said me, I used to walk up the 4th floor basically to keep my weight under control. People thought I was going to say hello to them, but it was more to my fitness regime. So I think I'll go back. I started work in 1984. Was a management trainee in a company called TTK.
TTK, South India.
Yeah, no, the company was based in Bangalore. They were headquartered still, but they had operations all over the country.
Yeah.
At that point in time, we have a very myopic view of life because it is, I thought, career will mean more job, more responsibility, maybe some more money, and you think you have more power and people listen to you. But that all gets shattered, sooner than what you think you can. But as life moved on, and I think moved from one job to one company to a second company, I think it became more of responsibility. Yes, all other things, came into place. But I think the biggest, most important point was you have to learn to manage self and thereby manage people, not the other way around. Power never really exists. We all what we see in these corporate movies and so on and so forth of, guys walking into a room and, giving orders. Doesn't happen in real life. The people at top are very lonely. So they have to think how they're going to conduct themselves, how they'll get alignment, how they will manage the organization maze, how they'll think of talent, and how will alignment happen over a period. And that's what's to bring the success, and that's a big perception change. It happens with time, age. Some point in time, you also get a family, your wife, your children, you get elderly, parents get older. So life is a mixed bag. And as you grow and you mature, many things are understood not only directly from career, but from managing life in a very different manner.
Great. When I talk to youngsters about a job in sales, I see that they fear failure. There'll be targets. If I don't meet the targets, will I get sacked? So how did you handle this fear which everyone has. Was there some big mistake that happened from which you learned how to
Yeah,
handle
so
it?
I think if I take the very large spectrum of organizations and give or take the good cultures, and okay, people are still evolving the culture. Um, you always hear stories that people got sacked because they didn't do the target, but that's only one side of the coin. The other side of the coin, maybe there are some value issues. Maybe there are some commitment issues. Maybe there is a gap in the hard work. Maybe there's a gap in the communication. Maybe there's a gap in the behavior. Yeah, failure happened. And I'll talk later about as we go through the session. And I was working in TTK, and management training, big visiting card, become area sales manager, end up as a distributor. There's a list of things to do, and say I'm come from so and so, have the cup of tea with low sugar in it, had a biscuit. Then said, you need to pay us some money. He said, first let me take you to the godown and show you how much stock is lying with me. And actually, we thought he was in a he was in a negative investment, but his stock was more than our outstanding. So we were not prepared. We were ill prepared. So the second lesson, the first lesson is, let's do our homework well. Let's go well prepared. We should know what the distributor bought, what he sold, and so on. So that's point number one. Point number two, demonstrate commitment. Go out and sell. Go to the market, sell from the distributor stock. Once you see that there's a demonstrated behavior of the organization to help him to do the business, things change with distributor. And I'll take another example since you're on the topic. I used to work for Johnson and Johnson, big brand. Used to handle a very large territory, UP, wholesale Delhi and Rajasthan. Can you imagine? It's like
Markets.
and those were days when tax was at the last point, so you can understand.
Oh yes,
What
the
excitement it can
the
be in
flow
life.
of goods.
I went into the Sadar Bazaar with the distributor, and my company said that Sadar Bazaar is such a tricky market. It was determining the price of the whole country. This market is handled directly. You have to go yourself and handle the market directly. And so I went to the market and I said, let's go to the market. And fortunately enough, we had a good sale whichever shop we went. We always offered the sale. The distributor, I made sure the distributor walked with me. There were about 30, 40 shops there. At the end of the day, he gave me an order much bigger than I actually needed it for the month and helped to oversee. The point I'm come to say that if you focus on the inputs, so focus on the process, the results will follow.
I love that.
Focus on it.
Quite some of my sales career too was full of this donkey business,
It doesn't fly.
Whereas I heard so little about the process of selling. And you didn't remain a salesperson, but you are always a salesperson, is what I see. How much role do you think your experience of sales helped you in your career in these so many different FMCG, telecom, consumer durables, electricals? What role do you think that early days of UP selling Johnson and Johnson helped you?
I will take two parts. I'll start from a philosophical point and come to an actual perspective. When I started working, one of my mentors told me. He said, in sales, when you will grow up, when you go up the ladder, 99% of your performance is behind your eyes.
Yes?
99% of your performance is behind your eyes in sales. You can't be virtually sitting at the back of the sales guy to see what he's doing. But in manufacturing, 99% performance is in front of your eyes.
You're right.
People are creating value. The guys who manufacture and the guys who sell both are creating value. So in that 1% of the time, you have to make a judgment that what happened in the 99% time. Not work sales, then how will you make a judgment that what happened in the 99% time?
That's a very interesting concept, See, I always think of sales as a remote control business. You don't see your salesperson except, and sometimes when you call up the salesperson, you're not in the best mood. His results are not so good. and you can demotivate the guy totally. Just over, that's
and the second aspect I'll come to is that, see, in India, over a period of time, I would divide the Indian consumer and the Indian trade in the pre-internet and the post-internet.
Okay.
And then the post-internet, I will take it pre-COVID and post-COVID. So there have been 3 journeys in India. So what happened was that if a consumer wants to buy a biscuit, let's take a very simple point. He thinks, I want to buy a glucose biscuit, or he wants to buy a namkeen biscuit, right? So that's a need in my mind of the consumer. So then what does he do? He gets out of his house, goes, takes a scooter or bicycle or car, whatever is the mode of transportation, and goes to the trade. And there he asks him, what is available in glucose biscuit, what's available in namkeen biscuit. So in the shopper's discovery, there is some questions he has answered before he has gone to the point of transaction. Some questions will get answered at the place of transaction, and then he will go home. Now, if that channel partner who's sitting there at the point of transaction is not so behind you and does not follow you or does not like you or does not whatever you may do sitting in the office is,
as they say, the travel of the product from the factory to the last 12 inches across the counter.
And so somebody told me, when you're going to handle the sales, when you're going to handle a channel partner, you have to learn to ride the tiger. Second point, they may not like you, but they should not hate you. Because
that's a
power. So you have to be fair. And more importantly, seem to be fair in the trade. That the margin they make is not a function of what margin you give to the channel partner. What is able to retain. And his ability to retain comes from the policies of the company and how they manage. That's the second point. The third point, what happens is that your sales team is working in heat, dust, away from the family. I'm not talking of era when there was no mobile phone is a far cry. Even a trunk call was an impossibility. I mean, even getting a call home, his wife is there, kids are there, parents are there. He's working alone, 15-20 days a month. So he is also working under a very difficult situation and still he has to deliver. So you have to understand what is happening in his mind, how he will deliver. And therefore, a time in your life will come when you will take decisions in a company or what to do for the sales guys to make them deliver what you want them to deliver. Unless you experience that, heat and dust, and what it takes, what the distributor behavior will be, and so on and so on. And I'll just take one last example. I'm going to take an example of telecom. So in telecom, at one time there was a rate arbitrage because the telecom operators were giving different rates in different to grab market share. So that brought in the proliferation of dual SIM. Nokia's first product was a failure, absolute disaster. And I still remember that shop and I still remember the town. It was in Gurgaon. And I went to the shopkeeper and he said, you people flew off the handlebar. And at me he said, what kind of company is Nokia? You don't know how to make a SIM, the phone fails, this, that. And he was going, I said, I didn't listen. I said, fine, we failed. We're taking back all the stock back. But you're making, 200 rupees or 300 rupees per phone on a 1200 or 1500 rupees dual SIM phone. And I'll probably barely make 50 rupees. So, aren't you happy? He said, not understanding, but he got further aggravated. I said, no, I've asked for bigger trouble. He said, when I sell Nokia, I sleep peacefully in the night on that pillow. Because he has taken the product gone. If something goes wrong, Nokia service will take care of it. If the Chinese phone doesn't deliver, then he will go to come back to my shop and yell at my shop. And spoil 10 customers. So, the trader has segmented his market. So he has said, there are people who are in a hurry, who want big brand. I sell them the brand, I make $50 and I'm done. There are people I believe I can sway them. I make my choice and give them and I make 200 rupees per phone. And they're the mixed bag. So I said, this is an interesting discussion. This has happened almost after 25 years in my working life. I said, this is the relevance of the brand to the guy. This is the relevance of service. This is the relevance of trust. So not always margin plays the game. Now, unless you walked the street of Gurdaspur and heard the yelling of this guy, and which is still echoing in my ears, your learning will not. Then he came back to the drawing board, and then the next phone came. I said, I want to test the product. You guys are okay, product guys, you are the response. Put all the possible dual SIMs we can get in the market. I want to test the product. Because I'm not signing off on the launch. I don't want to ever do gospel in my life. So I tested the product. Then we went back. I went back to the guy. He said, now your product is good. So understanding the shopper behavior, understanding the channel behavior, both are critical to decide the recipe of success sitting in an organization.
Wonderful. One of the things that I'm finding now is you handle change from FMCG to telecom, consumer durables to electrical, and a lot of people are in kind of panic about what's going to happen with AI. What kind of skills do you think AI will find it hard to replace, especially in the sales arena?
See, I think there's not a technology expert. There's a lot of talking about AI and some things in the market. And I'm sure some of it is relevant and some of it is being used. Like I have my elder daughter does a pottery studio. So sometimes I have to make a reel. I go on AI, I look for script, then I adjust it and adapt it and something. So I think what is historical knowledge, the output will come reasonably faster in AI. If you have stored your data, if you've got the data, the analytics part, I think will be unbelievably fast and superior quality. What will possibly will not be as good as is innovation, thinking on the feet, building relationship, emotional connect, and being in the face of the customer and building that trust and equity is something which is a more human side of a business. So if you look at the real impact which has come, it is more in the IT sector. You look at the performances and so on and so forth. It's repetitive jobs. I think the machine learning, AI is one manifestation there, but machine learning will move faster than repetitive jobs. So I think jobs which are doing the same thing again and again and out. Also the point that the companies need to use the AI to the advantage to do better analytics and provide that ammunition to the sales team and say, okay guys, you're going to the market, here is the last 4 months data, here is the last 3 years data, this is our market share in city. Based on data, these 4 or 5 could be a potential priorities. Now you go and there on the ground, add to the deal, add to this framework and deliver what you can deliver. The last mile piece, I think, will be a lot of human interface.
In the training workshops I hold for sales, one of the things is we discuss whether AI can replace relationships that are made in the market. Can relationship making become obsolete because there is a doll, a robot that is going to talk to you?
No.
This is what... so what it's getting is, it's not only the technical knowledge of the product that you should have, and maybe AI can have much better technical knowledge than even we can try and remember. But that making that connect, you spoke about the distributor that you went to, how he got mad with you, and you remember the guys who got angry with you, is a relationship building, So, sales is about human interactions.
I'll just add one more point to that, Roshan, that everything being equal, people buy from friends.
You're so right, na?
No, where will that friend come from? If I've spent time with you, if I've gone to my distributor's son's wedding, if I've replied back to his Diwali greeting, if he gives me a call, if I'm not able to pick up the call immediately, I call him back after 2, 3 hours or 4 hours, and so on and so forth. So I think that's the piece which is...
You won't believe, next week, I'm having lunch with one of my distributors. He stopped working. still talks about the times, and he's been chasing me that we must have a lunch together.
Absolutely. There you are.
So it's interesting. Now, when young people are looking at their careers, what is the kind of mistakes they make in their choices when they have at a crossroad,
Tell you a great story, Roshan. I worked in TTK, then I worked in Johnson Johnson, then I worked in Gillette. And Gillette was almost 17 and a half, 18 years of journey.
17 and a half, 18 years.
And that was an organization which built a lot of careers in the country. A lot of CEOs and all have come out of the Gillette, like Unilever.
Yeah.
So, and once one of my very important mentors, Pradeep Pant, he has influenced me a lot in my life. And he was sitting with me and chatting. He said, listen, what happens is that initial 5 to 10 years of your life, you go to a company and you contribute, but the company invests in you more than what you pay back to the company. So therefore, look for a great ship which will train you, move you around the jobs, invest in you. After 10, 12 years, you will start contributing more to the company than the company will invest in you.
Okay, I get that. Yeah.
And I'll give a very interesting anecdote. I had 17 and a half years of working in Gillette, and one day morning the ticker ran on the US stock exchange. P&G bids for the Gillette shares at $55 or $60 per share, which is almost like 10% over the value of the Gillette share. A road accident happened. So, and I'm going to give an insight. 70% of the people in Gillette, 70%. And I recently spoke to Anish Siddewa at his forum, and I'll talk something about it a little later. The last CV they had was when they joined the company.
Really?
Including my boss, the managing director of the company. So suddenly they were looking around, CV kahan hai? Never thought about it. So here is, and suddenly then things happened differently and people decided. And then we also onboarded people from Gillette to other companies. We made the CVs everybody. It was rewarded as the best HR practice in the country. Globally, P&G recognized as best integration in India and so on. So my point is that look for organizations which will invest in you, build your skill set, and not which are like brute execution. I don't recommend young guys in 2-3 years to join startups. And I'm nothing against startups. They're a great ecosystem.
Interesting point you made.
Ecosystem. They're developing, but they're a brute execution. That's all. If you're 5, 6, 7 years, you learn something. I know a lot of people who work in great organizations, BCG, McKinsey, Unilever, and then gone to some mid-stage startup. I say respect it. You want to have a different experience, go there. Because you're a half brand already. And you will do this for a few years, then maybe go there. So look for organizations which will invest in you, build your culture, and make you learn and allow you some room for mistake.
That's an important thing.
Important. The second aspect is, and this somebody told me much later when we were in Gillette and we were helping all people to look for careers, because P&G didn't want so many of the people. Having worked for good organizations, you have a visiting card value. You can encash the visiting card once.
Alright.
You change one organization, next time your visiting card is of the new company, nobody will remember that you worked for Gillette or P&G or Johnson & Johnson. So think through it. The third point, Roshan, is if you're joining an organization, think what next 2-3 jobs you will do in an organization. That the organization has the room
for
to take you up to that 2-3 level. Or you're only joining a job, then the life is 24 months or 36 months. If you're lucky, it'll be 48 months. That's the point. Go for. I'm not saying money is not important. Money is wealth creation, but look at job content. Look at wealth creation. Look at what they will train you upon, and what are the next 2 to 3 jobs you could do in the organization. If all the boxes get ticked, make the change.
So I'm taking you through these various things that come about which you have faced in your career. You were naturally a great salesperson.
Thanks.
What was the difference that made you a good leader?
I think, I recently read a book and I'll talk about it when you come later. I think listening and absorbing what people are telling me helped me to understand what is happening in the dynamics of the place. So when I was Johnson, I landed in the town. Okay, early morning train, listen to the guy, what happened in that town, what happened in his family, where is he, so and so. So ask inquisitive questions and listen. And then your conduct will make him change. You're forcing a change in him will not make him change. So not speaking and be quiet is also important communication. Getting in a room and thumping table and all is only in the films. Doesn't happen in real life. So I think listening, alignment, fostering commitment, and sometimes taking calculated risks with the team and saying, okay guys, let's jump on this. I'm with you. Don't worry. We could all fail, we could all win, but let's take the risk. The other person is not having the ability or the experience, both may be a question. So I think listening, alignment, navigating. So a very important skill set, which is probably underrated, is how to manage an organizational maze. Companies are a maze. Different people are sitting with different power centers, equities, perceptions. This is my territory, this is your territory, don't come in this territory. How are you going to manage this? The mazes are not going to go in the company, come what may. How are you going to navigate the organizational maze?
That's very true. No? Very often, good talent can't do it, and then they have to leave sometimes.
No, you go and hit your head against the wall, you're going to be breaking your own head. There's no point.
So the one thing that I'm seeing is that more and more people, see that when they start a career, it may be like a contract period. It's not a lifelong kind of a career. Even you, let us say, from FMCG to telecom to durables to electrical, TTK, what is the tips that you can think of that help you? Like, the moment you entered a new company, which your product is new, people are new, you have no network in that new company. How do you get to be successful in environments that are not your comfort zone?
I think it's a great question, Roshan. I think one is that you don't believe that you're a super, phantom or Superman, that you'll have the answers in the next 12 hours or for 24 hours. So absorb, listen, and listen with ears, eyes, and intuition. And if you don't know, say I don't know. Be honest. Like I went in telecom, I didn't know the front or the back of the handset. What is the difference between the two sides? Where are the batteries? And nothing I knew. But they wanted somebody with channel excellence. So before I landed, there was a massive project on channel development. The meeting had already started on day 2. I said, let's get involved in this. So basics of people, basics of channel management. Take shapes and sizes of it, but the basics don't go away. If you understand what people motivates them, what respect they want, build trust, eye contact, be humble. You are on a learning journey. Give yourself time, and before you will, and focus on the process. Follow the steps.
I like that you keep saying focus on the process. And actually, the selling process is not so different in different companies.
Not at all.
Technical parts are different, but why a consumer will buy, whether it's a Boeing 747 or a needle, the process is not so significantly different.
So yeah, I agree with you, Roshan. So what happens is that when you go to the market and sit with the retailers and have that 2-3 cups of tea and coffee, which much again.
Tea have you had maximum in
run into at least 500,000 by now. So at some point in time, I said, can it be made without sugar? Then some point in time I said, can it be given me black? So, and you ask them questions. What is selling, not selling, what do you do? And see and sit there and observe. And how transactions are happening. I'm the retailer's point. What is the guy coming and asking? What questions we ask? And ask some questions. Ask them what is selling, not selling, what do you like about a company, you don't like about the company. They will give you pieces of information and data. And all of it not will be truth. So you have to take all of it with a pinch of salt. And then come back and go to the product team and ask them. And you don't need to do all the sessions in one day. It will be an overload. But people management skills and channel skills don't significantly change. Don't significantly. Because there are also people in channel. They're not robots that are sitting out there. They have to make money. And they want. See, what has happened in India, some things have changed over a period of time. The channels in India, given a broad spectrum, are reasonably dependent on. Dependent may not be the right word. Their co-creation happens along with the company. Some of them have evolved to become a platform in themselves and some equity in themselves. But they also need strong partners in ecosystem to deliver value to their customers and themselves. But they will not articulate it in so many manners, they'll articulate it in different ways because different people are coming with different agenda. And the more the time you spend there, you'll understand what he needs from the company and you know what you want from him. And the bigger the common diagram between the two, successful for him.
I like that. I like that. So let me just wrap up with some things that you can give to the people who are viewing this. Is there a book that you have read which you think helps people make right decisions in their careers, or anything that you recently found very
I read many, not too many, but some books. But I recently read a book called Inspiring Leadership by Anil Sachdeva, who runs the Soil School of Academy. And I read, and I'll explain to you why I like the book. The very first chapter says, 2 big lies about leadership. The first one, it says leaders are born. This is not true. They are created. The second thing, he says leadership is about leading others. He said that's also true. It's about leading your own self.
Okay.
And I mean, I understood them and I very much correlate to them. But I think writing them down and putting them in the beginning of the first chapter of the book, I think it really, I read that chapter and I sat quietly and I said, wow. I've lived through a life, came from a child of parents who came from Australia, Pakistan. And one day I wrote, it was an interesting story and I'll tell you about it. So they had lost everything in Pakistan. And they came back and they got married probably in 55 or 56. For them, their dream of the child and their dream of the country was the same. What they believed in the country, they were reasonably patriotic and so on and so forth. And they said that we have to invest in education. Why? Because we want to see progress and we want to see progress and we want to see progress and we want to see progress. So the point I'm coming to is that a lot of the core values get established in the school and the foundation years, and more importantly at home. And that builds a lot of what happens in the later part of the career. And I think that book really made back and saying that what all my parents did, what all sacrifices they made. They had choices to make, but they chose a tougher route. And they also made a tougher route for me. But
for the viewers, would you just repeat the title of that book?
It's called Inspiring Leadership by Anil Sachdeva.
Wow.
It's available on Amazon.
So, is there a sales leader that you admire?
Oh my God. That's a difficult one. So, I mean, I have had many mentors and I think they really helped me a lot. The first job was Inderjit Singh Rawali taught me about trade, how toughness happens in life. Then there was Pradeep Pant in Gillette who taught me about sales. Then there was Zubair Ahmed, great job done on me on my life. Then there was D. Shiv Kumar, and my boss Manish Pant did a good job on me. My point is that I think each one of them contributed to my development of a human being. And I think I'll just take one more point, Roshan. I mean, once in Gillette, they had hired a global, talent development team. And I'll tell you why I'm sharing this with you. To the lady who flew down from the US, from Boston, I mean, must have paid some $5,000 per person to, and 360-degree questionnaire and meeting up people above me, below me, side. 30, 40. Here is a report book. He says, why don't you do one thing? Why don't you exist to your wife and make her read it? So, and come back to me. She said, what did she tell you? He said, why does the company pay $5,000 to? I would have told you all this yourself. So sometimes we underestimate the power of our partner or spouses to be able to, give you feedback and what your mirror is and what motivates and what not motivates. They can read you better.
So we have a last question for you.
Sure.
And it's to fill in the blank.
Sure.
So it starts like this. Success without dash is not success.
Great question. Hard work, and which can be replicable, not really success.
So hard work is what you say.
Yeah, and if I'll just share one story with you, hopefully the last one. I was to work in Gillette. There used to be a global leader from London. Used to come. His name was Jose. He was a Spanish guy, and he said, and I'm more relevant to this, Roshan, from sales perspective. He said anybody can climb the Mount Everest once in their lifetime. You work hard for 2 years, 3 years, build stamina. But in sales and life, you have to climb the Mount Everest every day.
Every day. I love that. That's a wonderful.
And that is what makes a difference in life and sales, because every day you have to face the challenges, face the odd situations, overcome them, succeed them. And also he said, tell me another thing. He said, in life you will lose some battles. Don't worry. But winning the war is important. He said, there's no king in the world who has not lost a battle. Good kings have won the war. If you're losing a battle, square it up, cut your losses, done, go back, but win the war. Winning the war is more.
Great. And I really thank you, Vipul. It's been so engrossing just to be with you and listen to your stories. And I'm sure our viewers will take some inspiration from a person who really addressed change and won over it, moving from FMCG, telecom, consumer durables and electricals. And really, somebody that I met told me he considers you his guru. And he's a very, very big salesperson that I know.
I know whom we're talking about.
So much, and I wish you all success. You're doing a great job, I know, being in various companies, giving advice and making them grow. And I wish you well. Thank you so much, Vipul.
Thank you, Roshan. Thank you very much. Pleasure to be here. It's great meeting you and interacting with you. It was very insightful and also made me reflect on what has happened and made me also think. Thank you very much. Pleasure to be here.
Thank you so much.